Support WrestleTalk!
Tell a friend. Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Ollie Davis, and seeing it's just me in the office today because Luke's celebrating his 1-year wedding anniversary like a nerd. Seriously, what a loser. He's nowhere as cool as this guy was at Luke's wedding doing critically applauded sexy dance moves. I'm going to do another super news. Press the thumbs up and leave a comment down below because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere when this episode goes live, which has the Wyatt family potentially reuniting, backstage frustration over this Sunday's Evolution pay-per-view, and how two of WWE's biggest stars might pull out of Crown Jewel. But first, it's time for Throwback Friday. No, not Throwback Thursday because that's a Thursday thing. This is totally different. It's where we remember wrestlers remembering stuff they did in the past. Kind of like a flashback. Oh, God damn it, I should have called it Flashback Friday. Unlike Throwback Thursday, however, Throwback Friday isn't just an excuse for me to spend half my morning on Lana's Instagram page, or for us all to remember that time I high-fived Jushin Thunder Liger on a Segway. But I totally did that. It's also a day for Sami Zayn to remember strangely disappeared wrestling legends. Replying to a fan tweet incorrectly tagging Sami in an El Generico PWG ladder match against Kevin Steen 7 years ago, Zayn responded, "Man, those dudes were crazy." Zayn really seems to be a fan of those guys. Wait a second. Is Sami actually Kevin Steen? Zayn is currently recovering from shoulder surgery, which could see him out until around WrestleMania time. But thankfully, the WWE roster is keeping his spirits up, with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch recently paying him a visit. Ah, wrestling friends. You are such a heel, Becky Lynch! Someone else who's recently been missing from WWE is Sasha Banks, who disappeared from Raw with an unexplained injury several weeks ago. Details in the usual wrestling news sites were hard to come by, with the only real insight from Barn Burner's No Holds Barred podcast claiming she just needed a break, a mental break or whatever. This appears to be kind of true, as Sasha herself revealed in an interview with Maria Menounos. "I was having head pain. I couldn't function. I couldn't even drive. I couldn't sleep. I'm like, I need to go get checked out. And it went to several neurologists, and they pretty much told me I have maybe post-concussion symptoms, so just rest. It was kind of scary. I was like, am I gonna make Evolution? Thankfully, God, I'm okay and back to normal, and I'm ready for Sunday." Oh yeah, Evolution's happening this week. And us frequently forgetting that is reportedly a source of frustration backstage. Despite this being the go-home week for the all-women's pay-per-view, Monday and Tuesday's episodes of Raw and SmackDown were more concerned about building next Friday's Crown Jewel event. More on that later. The main event of SmackDown, the last main roster segment left to promote the show, wasn't anything to do with the blood feud between Charlotte and Becky. You're such a heel, Becky Lynch! It was a replay of a 2007 match between Jeff Hardy and that actually happened in 2018. No way! This lack of WWE interest in Evolution hasn't gone unnoticed by its female stars, who are said to be very disappointed with the lack of effort that has gone into the show's promotion. This is in addition to the number of SmackDown stars who have tweeted their displeasure about being relegated to the creative has nothing for you battle royal, replying to the initial announcement tweet with disappointed face gifs. Dave Meltzer has even revealed on Wrestling Observer Radio that Evolution was never seen as that important backstage, as it was always more about giving Stephanie McMahon positive PR in the mainstream press. They've had months to book better storylines for the show, and they couldn't come up with anything for Sister Abigail. Segway incoming! Hopefully she's just being saved for the rumoured Wyatt family reunion. Bray Wyatt hasn't been seen on WWE TV since August, where his Deleter of Worlds tag team with Woken Matt Hardy lost a title match to then Raw Tag Champion champions, the B Team. Yep, the B Team were champions just a few months ago. Sadly, his tag partner Matt seemingly announced his WWE in-ring retirement shortly after, leaving Bray, one of WWE's most promising stars just several years ago, with nothing to do. And that knife was twisted a little further when WWE's list of its greatest ever factions failed to include his Wyatt family stable, causing Bray to tweet, "I'm going away now to find myself, but when I am back, I want you all to remember things like this, things that make me do the things I do." That finding himself took the form of snippets from a very creepy psychiatrist diary posted on Twitter, teasing a new, more psychotic character. Day 23. Subject is showing signs of progress at times. Violent outbursts are commonplace, spewing threats at our staff in multiple languages and reciting passages from Bible. And Day 3. Subject believes God as well as several other entities speak to him directly. They give him a scapegoat for 7. Pulled a nail from his cell. He was attempting to repent through torture. Masochistic tendencies. Pray that after so many treatments he will be free of this affliction once and for all. Sincerely, Dr. M. The Wrestling Observer newsletter is now reporting, though, that there has recently been a backstage pitch in WWE for the Wyatt family to reunite, with Eric Rowan sidelined with an elbow injury back in August, breaking up his Bludgeon Brothers tag team with Luke Harper, and Matt Hardy seemingly retired. Neither Bray or Luke have anything to do, and reuniting them could be an effective way to get them screen time. Of course, with them both being on separate brands, a jump either way would have to be made, but a program with a new Universal Champion Braun Strowman on Raw would certainly provide a lot of feud backstory. Speaking of backstory, there's plenty for Fight Forever's latest main event announcement, where Cody Rhodes will be taking on his Being the Elite co-star Flip Gordon at the Trauma Show in Liverpool on the 9th of December. It's Cody's last opponent announcement, with him facing El Phantasmo in Birmingham, Jimmy Havoc in London, and Joe Hendry in Bristol. The Birmingham show will also decide the promotion's first ever men's and women's champions. Get your tickets by clicking the link below and give them a follow on Twitter at Fight Forever UK and on Facebook at Fight Forever Wrestling. And now it's time for our top story of WWE and the controversial case of the Crown Jewel. Because they're actually going ahead with it. WWE's big money! Long-term deal with Saudi Arabia was already a controversial relationship, with WWE's female performers not being allowed to appear on the show due to the country's cultural restrictions. A rather hypocritical move, with Crown Jewel happening just 5 days after their historic, groundbreaking, Aren't Women Just Swell, all-female pay-per-view Evolution. When's that happening again? Oh, yep, Sunday. It's happening on Sunday. But now, after first denying their involvement and then denying it was premeditated, the Saudi Arabian government have admitted they killed Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi earlier this month in a premeditated attack. Despite the mainstream press and numerous politicians condemning the regime and many large businesses cutting ties with the country, WWE announced they're pressing ahead in their Q3 earnings release on its corporate website yesterday. WWE stock hit a recent low of $73 a share following the announcement. To put that in perspective, 4 weeks ago, back when the Crown Jewel controversy was only about those pesky women not being allowed to perform, WWE stock was at a very impressive $91 a share. Although the market is down overall, the timing of the drop indicates investors are put off by WWE proceeding with Crown Jewel. The company's value is still way above what it began 2018 with, though, thanks to the huge money deals with Fox and, ironically, Saudi Arabia. When asked about the decision by BTIG's Brandon Ross on the investor call later that day, Vince McMahon declined to elaborate.
Hi, thanks for taking the questions. First for Vince, Saudi Arabia has obviously become financially an important market for you over the long term. How do you think about the puts and takes of that relationship? And maybe if you could take us through your thought process in deciding to keep the event on. And then I have a follow-up. Thanks.
We're not going to talk a lot about that. It's a very sensitive subject these days, naturally. And I think our statement pretty much said all we want to say about that today.
Great.
That noise, by the way, isn't the signal that end of a question on the conference call. It's Vince's custom-made cash register noise. Money! But rather admirably, for one person at least, ethics matter more than money. Well, ethics and keeping your acting career PR scandal free for those goddamn Hollywood liberals. Robbie Fox of Barstool Sports reported earlier this week that John Cena and Daniel Bryan are refusing to work Crown Jewel, which Cena seemingly referred to in a tweet. Believe in what you say and what you do. If you say and do things just to create an image of what you want people to think, over time they will eventually see who you really are. Now Fox claims Cena is 100% off the show. WWE were hopeful they'd come to terms with Cena, but there's been zero change on John's end, which the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter has corroborated, reporting it was confirmed that creative was told that Cena was out of the World Cup tournament and to come up with ideas to replace him. As has WrestleVotes' tweet, I don't know how or when, but John Cena has told WWE he won't be appearing at Crown Jewel. I've heard the show is back in wait and see mode. This is a mess. The situation is so dire, WWE have taken the rare step of actually replying to wrestling news websites on the matter, telling Pro Wrestling Sheet when they reached out for comment, "As always, we maintain an open line of communication with our performers and will address each situation accordingly." Lost track of how many injuries there are in WWE at the moment? Click the WrestleTalk.com link on screen now to learn all about each one and find out the huge controversial plan WWE has for Crown Jewel by clicking the video in the top left. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.